Pro Football Focus did bold predictions for each and every NFL team. For the Browns, number 1, Myles Garrett wins Defensive Player of the Year. Number 2, DeWan Jones becomes the starting right tackle by the end of the season. And number 3, Nick Chubb sets a new career high for receiving. Brad, when we talk about Myles Garrett and Defensive Player of the Year, he's been in that mix midway through each of the last couple of seasons and then gets banged up and can't finish like he started.
Some of those things, right? For those big awards, you have to just get a couple breaks in your favor and just be able to stay healthy for an entire now 17-game season. You rack up those numbers, get 20-plus sacks or close to it in today's NFL. But yeah, a lot of those narratives and award type things, you have to really get a lot of not luck, but just, everything breaks your way for that stretch of games. But I think he's capable every single year he straps on the cleats. And I think this year in particular, with all the weaponry around him now on that defensive line, if he does play 17 games, he should be, that's a big caveat, but he should probably be the favorite. If you're allowed to put that caveat on every player, I think he should be the favorite to win the Defensive Player of the Year.
And he will benefit from Jim Schwartz as the defensive coordinator as well. Schwartz will find a way. We talked about the matchups. That's matchup number 1. How can I get Myles Garrett free?
100%, and it should be, and I think he's going to be the biggest benefactor of that move, no question.
All right, DeWan Jones played every snap of the Hall of Fame game. I don't know that any player has ever done that over the past 5-6 years. He looked like a pro, he looked good.
He looked phenomenal. And I mean, I think the talent and the ability has not really been brought into question. You watched the tape last year with him and Paris Johnson. Look, I thought Paris Johnson looked a little bit better, but I didn't see a 100 draft pick gap between those two players. When you watch them, Jones is a monster. You can see him at 6'8", and you're watching some snaps and wondering, how he's a dancing bear. How is he moving around this comfortably? How is he handling, it's not a surprise he can handle speed rush and power rush, but, even some of the bendier guys that you saw him play against, sure, at times he'd get, have some trouble getting down there and blocking a guy who had good bend around the edge, but not as much as you'd expect for a guy who is as big as he is and sometimes plays upright. But I thought he looked phenomenal. He has all the talent in the world. If he's focused and driven, yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going to start over Jack Conklin anytime soon, a very good player in his own right, but I feel phenomenal about my tackle depth if I'm the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, and I would assume, Conklin has been banged up, and so that, that might be the reason. But yeah, I want to see him more. I want to see DeWan Jones more. Nick Chubb setting a career high for receiving yards. I would expect them to make him a part of this passing game.
I think so. I mean, the one big thing here is Deshaun Watson historically just does not really target the position. I'm always near the bottom of the NFL in target share to the running back spot because he's a guy that wants to throw home runs and find guys downfield, which is certainly not a bad thing. I'm not presenting that as a bad stat by any way, shape, or form, but I think Kevin Stefanski and the way this offense is constructed is they're going to have some, running back leak and some screens and different ways to get him the ball to where it's basically a rush. He's getting the ball near the line of scrimmage, and then he's getting ahead of steam and moving downfield and making guys miss in open space. I think I agree with that one as well. I think it's very possible. I think it depends how they scheme it up, and I think they are going to want to do that to a certain degree.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Chubb in the open field without 8 guys in front of him sounds like advantage Browns offense.
Yeah, I would agree.